Hello everybody, good day and welcome to Content Laboratories. My name is Ayodeji and as usual I'll be your host. Today I'll be looking at how to create a sitemap for your new website and at the same time how to get your new website indexed. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can receive our videos anytime we'll create them like this. Like I said, today I'll be looking at how to create a sitemap for your new website. What is your sitemap? Your sitemap is actually the architectural walkthrough of your website. That is how your website is arranged, how your content is being linked, which content search engines bots should go through, and which content search engines bots should not pass through. Is your sitemap that actually dictates to search engines bots how they move within your website. Now, if I have to create a sitemap for my new website, this is what you should do. Your sitemap should start from your website itself. I just created this website which I want to use to demonstrate to you, aircure.com. Let's go after this sitemap. Okay, now there are two ways you can do it that is free. Either you are using one of the SEO plugins or you are using Google's XML Sitemap. Google's XML Sitemap. Now, if I'm using any of the SEO plugins like AllinOne SEO, all you need to do is add it as a plugin. First, let's see how to add it as a plugin. Go to Add New. When you do Add New, come towards the left-hand side. Do All-in-One SEO. Now this is a site I did yesterday and I have everything installed, but just like you can see All-in-One SEO, then you can now create All-in-One SEO. Click install. You see install if you are creating it for the first time. Then after you install, then you activate. If you don't want to use All-in-One SEO, you can use used SEO. Also will create an automatic sitemap for you. Rank Math will create an automatic sitemap for you. I'm very confident about those three. They are all SEO plugins. But if you don't want to use the SEO plugins, another alternative is to use the Google XML Sitemap itself. It's also a plugin that you need to install. Any of them will help you create a sitemap. Let's use the Google XML Sitemap. Google XML Sitemap. Now let me just show you this. Now if you have, please do not pick Google XML Sitemap generator. I won't recommend that. What I recommend is Google XML Sitemap. See it here. Click on activate. Click on install. It will take you to install. After install, then you activate your plugin. After activating your plugin, you can come into settings, go to the general settings here and pick the XML sitemap like you can see underneath here. Pick the XML sitemap. We're going to do one thing here. If you pick the XML sitemap here, let me just walk you through the options available. You have basic options: notify Google about updates, notify Bing about updates, add sitemap URL to virtual robots.txt files. .txt files are actually robots that tell Google bots not to crawl some particular links if you don't want them to be crawled. That's actually a little bit technical beyond what I'm discussing, not to deviate. Now, then additional pages. Look at post priority, comment count. Your comment count, use the number of comments of the post to calculate the priority. Now, selecting this is telling Google to prioritize your comments. Your comment is going to contribute to your SEO. Please do not forget to select that. Now, your sitemap content. Your sitemap content will include you should include your home page. Ensure this is ticked. Include posts. Include static pages. You can include categories. You can include tag pages. but for me, I just prefer to leave it this way, to include posts, to include static pages, and further options, include the last modification time. I'll leave it as at that. Then scroll down, let me show you something. Now your frequency, the change frequency, you are telling the bot to your sitemap to be resubmitted on daily basis. For your own page on daily basis, if there's a change on my own page on daily basis, for my post on daily basis. Now if you create probably like one article in a week or one article in a month, then you can adjust it to probably monthly or weekly as you want. But I create content often, so I would rather leave it as daily. Now come down to your priorities, just leave the settings the way it is. Home page 1.1 0.6, just leave, and do not forget to click on your update options. Now with this, you have actually created a sitemap for your website. Next thing is to go to Google and Bing and notify both websites that you have a sitemap that is created, that their bots can crawl. Now let's go to Google first. Let's go to Google Search Console. By now I believe you should have the Google Search Console account. If you don't, just do a Google Search Console, your Google account, create a Google account for yourself. You can always use that to create a Google, to log into Google Search Console, automatically to take you in to Google Search Console. Now on my Google Search Console, I think I have it opened. Nope. Okay, let me go to Google Search Console. Google Search Console, and I'll show you how to add your sitemap to Google Search Console. Start now. Okay, good. This has actually been added, but if you are adding it for the first time, just come down here, click on add property. Add property will bring you here, and if you are logging into Google Search Console for the first time, most likely this is what is actually going to tell you. Oh, sorry, this is indexing. Sorry, that's a little bit of a mistake. If you have your sitemap on ground, come to sitemap, add a new sitemap, place your new sitemap here. Oh, sorry, I was working on something before I started. Now let me copy it. Now I can manually type my new sitemap here. My sitemap is actually http://sitemap.xml. But to avoid making mistakes, go back to WordPress. Under your settings, search engines haven't been, or just come down here. The URL to your sitemap index is, copy this URL to your sitemap index, copy link. I've copied it now. Come down to Google Search Console, as simple as this, and paste it. The moment you paste it, click on submit. Google will periodically process blah blah blah, you'll be notified. Got it. That is for Google. Now do the same thing again for sitemap. So submit your sitemap at Bing. Come down to Bing. If you open your Bing, scroll down here, you see sitemap. When you click on sitemap here, now come down here, you see sitemap. Submit sitemap. The same link you have copied, just paste it again. That's my sitemap. Submit. I've successfully submitted sitemap. QED. Quite easily done. Now that's about how to create sitemap and submit to both Google and Bing. Now let's look at how to get your website indexed. Indexing, like I said earlier, is actually telling search engines that your website also do what? Exist. You are telling a search engine that your website do what? Exist. I'm the owner of so website. I've just created it. It does exist. Now if I want to get my website here indexed, what I need to do is I need to add a new site. You need to add a new site. I have egg here already. Let me just use this to demonstrate. Egg here. If you do aircure.com, do add site already added because I already have it in. But let me just use a site to demonstrate. Let me use this. Let me use that's at Sitrubix. Is one of my free websites. I opened a free website with Sitrubix. I'll provide a link. You could open a free website with Sitrubix. I'll drop a link for Sitrubix. For those who can't afford to create a fresh domain, you can open a new website with Sitrubix. It's free. A free website with Sitrubix. I'll drop a link in the comments in the description section so that you can get access to Sitrubix.com. Sitrubix is actually powered by Wealthy Affiliates. I also drop a link for Wealthy Affiliates too. Now, HTML meta tag. Now, you could use when choose a verification method. The moment you submit the name to Bing will now ask for a verification method. You choose a verification method. Let me show you this. Let me show you. Now, this I don't want this site on Bing at all. But I'll show you at the back end of Aircure what I did. Now you're going to copy this. Bing is saying copy and paste the meta tag in your site's home page. It should go in the head section. Now let me show you how I did it in Aircure. I think this is Sitrubix now. I don't want that thing verified, please. Plugins, appearance. Go to appearance. To paste it, where to paste it? Go to your theme editor. At your theme editor, scroll down to the header.php. Now this is my header.php. Now you see that, look here, meta name validation. This is where I dropped the code. Now just come down here after the head. See the head here, not there, very close to the last line of the header. Drop the code here. If you do this and you drop this code here, don't forget to update. Please, I don't want to touch this. Just update. By the time you update, go back to your Bing and do verify. Stay verified. Meant to do verify to tell it is successful. Then your website is actually indexed on Bing Webmaster Tools. Then if you do the same thing on Google is a little bit different. What you do on Google is you go to your Google Search Console. On your Google Search Console, now we're going to add a new website. We're actually adding a website. You're adding a property. Add a property to your Google Search Console. Click on add property. Click on add property on your Google Search Console. And add your Aircure. Like you see me adding aircure.com. It tells you ownership, author is verified. Now let me show you this on, I think I have one website that is not verified. Now Aircure, let's see. Okay, Poultry Farmers Diary. Click this. Now this is the same code, but this time around you're not going to submit this code the way we submitted it on the header section. Google is saying, rather than submit on the header section, Google is saying sign into your domain name provider. Now your hosting company is your domain name provider. If your website is hosted on GoDaddy, sign in on GoDaddy. If your website is hosted on Namecheap, go to Namecheap. If it's Bluehost, go to Bluehost. I always tell people this. Do not just host your website anywhere. Please use a verified provider. Use a verified hosting company. Use an hosting company you can count on. An hosting company that is responsive. An hosting company that is responsive. An hosting company that you can count on any day, anytime. if you are hosting your company, you are hosting your website for the first time, in my description below I will leave a link for godaddy.com, I'll leave a link for namecheap.com, I'll leave a link for bluehost.com, I'll also leave a link for wealthyaffiliate.com. They are all hosting companies you can count on. Or most of my websites now are hosted on Wealthy Affiliate, while some are actually on Bluehost. Those two, you can count on them at the blink of your eyes. Now, what Google wants us to do is sign into your domain name provider, copy this text, and you submit to your domain name provider. Let me show you what I did for Ekio yesterday too on Wealthy Affiliate platform. Let's go to my Wealthy Affiliate platform. Wealthy Affiliate, okay, let me just sign into Wealthy Affiliate so that I'll show you the mail I sent, the way I did it. Any of them, if you are using Bluehost provide good support. If you are using Namecheap, they have very good support, and same applies to GoDaddy. But here is on Wealthy Affiliate. Here is the mail I sent to Wealthy Affiliate support. Dear team, kindly assist with the verification of my domain name. Below is the code for Google Search Console. I placed it here. Thank you, Ayodeji. And I submitted this at October 7th yesterday around 8:30 p.m. Okay, within 30 minutes, they've gotten back to me that we've added the provided TXT record for your domain. You don't need to worry. They work 24 hours. You don't need to worry. Even if it is Bluehost, if it is Namecheap, anyone you decide, even if it's HostGator is another very good company that I can vouch for. Within some few minutes, you get support from them. Now, the moment they responded to me within 30 minutes, all I needed to now all I needed to do is go back to my Google Search Console and click verify. Now, if you click verify, Google will tell you it's successful. If it's not successful, go back to your hosting company and tell them it's not successful, blah 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 is the error message. Present your error message to them and they will still work on it. Work with them until it is successful. All it takes is sending email. Once again, I want to say a very big thank you for staying with me till this period. If you have any question, do not hesitate to use my comment section. I'll be available to respond to your questions and also to your constructive questions and constructive suggestions. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not forget to pick a verified hosting company. Thank you and do have a wonderful day.